This meeting has been webcast for the purpose of providing live coverage to broaden the knowledge and participation in council issues and demonstrating council's commitment of openness and accountability. All speakers must ensure that comments are relevant to the issue at hand and to refrain from making personal comments or criticism or mentioning any private information. No other persons are permitted to record the meeting unless specifically authorised by the council to do so. Our prayer to give thanks for the contribution by pioneers, early settlers, and those that fought for the various wars for the fabric of Tenterfield community we have today. May the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be accepted in thy sight, O Lord. Amen. Aboriginal recognition. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land that we're meeting on today. I would also like to pay respect for the elders both past and present of the Yuckabull, Kamilaroi, Boonwurrung nations and extended the respect of other Aboriginal people present. Sending disclosures of interest, councillors. No disclosures of interest. Apologies. No. There's no public access session.
Mr. Chair, just apologies for understanding. Apologies for Councillor Max.
So we need to move them to Mr. Gibbs. Yeah. We acknowledge that, so we don't need to.
Yes.
Can I have a move in a second? Just going to apologize. Councillor Ship, I thank you. Second, Councillor Wright, all in favour? And carried. Councillors, we have a notice of motion. It's item NM9/16, Visit Information Centre. To be brought forward. Councillor Murray, would you like to move the notice of motion?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Would you like to second it, please, for the notice of motion? Councillor Petrie, I thank you. Councillors, what I wish to do is in fair and open, transparent, as we always not try to do around our meetings. I'll be calling for speakers for me. Okay? I'll go first and ask the mover and seconder, and then I'll go back the other way. Happy with that, movers and seconders? Okay. Councillor Murray, floor is yours.
As you are aware, I requested this meeting so that we can be provided with a detailed report on the direct and indirect cost of council since council over the setting up and operation of the Tasmanian Business Information Centre 2015. This cost ultimately is passed on to the ratepayers of the charge. The council has voted for council table for the operations of the Tasmanian Business Information Centre. The decision came at a huge emotional and financial cost to the community. It is indisputable that as councillors, we have a responsibility and an obligation to the people of our shire to be totally transparent with their money. We are in a position of trust, must be accountable to the people who elected us to represent them with integrity and honesty. Therefore, I move the motion that council staff be requested to provide the council a full report outlining all the direct and indirect costs associated with the setup and operation of the Tenterfield Business Information Centre, since council resolved to resume the management of the facility.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Petrie, I'll go to you for a second.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I second this motion because I put a notice of motion up to get a full cost of the running of the thing for 12 months, which I included on it that we have all the staff costing in it, and everything associated with it. Just it's my idea to get itemised and have it all itemised so we know exactly what it costs. In the notice of motion, I put up the general manager and all the staff's costing to be in it. That hasn't been separated up in it. There's a rent for the shop, which normally would have been $6,000 rent income for the council. The electricity charges, it was electricity being used, that's going to be accounted for then. I just want to see the cost of property so we give you a good idea of what it costs to run these days, what it was before.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Councillor Petrie. Speakers against the notice of motion? Councillor White, yes.
Thank you. As the judge this motion, I move that the question be now put.
The review of the business has been brought forward, councillor. I note that, and here I can start one more time with any other speakers again. Other speakers against? You want to speak, councillor Forbes? Use the opportunity. To be fair.
It appears that we've finally received some of the costings the council will bear to the Tenterville community regarding the Business Information Centre. Prior to the decision by 6 councils to deny $30,000 funding and subsequent implementation to the TDVA to maintain and operate the BIC, the council funded the Tenterville Shire Council 2015 community survey conducted by Micromex. Results of a community survey conducted by Micromex presented on 8th of April 2015 showed that the Tourism/Business Information Centre had scored the overall highest response of higher importance, higher satisfaction rating in the services/facilities analysis. That result alone should be a wake-up call that the status quo should be given serious consideration to be maintained. Bearing in mind the council has been asked to contribute $30,000 at that time. There have been 2 petitions conducted in the term of this council regarding the BIC and its operation and structure. The petitions cautions against scrapping the status quo before a cost-benefit analysis was undertaken to ensure that any changes subsequently adopted were going to deliver a more cost-effective arrangement. The most recent petition forecast the cost of council, if it had to assume control and management of the Business Information Centre, could exceed $120,000 as against $30,000. Petitions were ignored by the majority of councillors and the changes adopted on some very questionable intentions. From a cost-benefit view, this whole exercise has been an unmitigated debacle. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor. Councillor Lane, before I put the motion, as mayor and as chair of the meeting, I just want to do a bit of a wrap-up. I have a view on this, and it needs to be respected as a council. Councillors, we have dealt with this in the last 12 months, councillors. I'm chairing the meeting, councillor, thank you.
Well, I did move that the question.
And I'm accepting it, I'm accepting it.
It is a motion that has to be voted on, just that motion.
I will, and I will call for a second for your motion.
It doesn't think.
It doesn't. Well, I'm going to speak. And I would respect councillor Lane that you respect that. I do have an opinion, and I will wrap it up. And then I will go on with the business. So I thank you for your procedural advice. Again, as a council, we've worked with this over the last couple of years. There was a council election in a very short time. And all I'm asking for anybody, I wish you all the best. For those who are getting to get on with this. We have done this. Don't keep bringing it up and get on with it. Chamber of Commerce is being formed. It's going very well, and I want us all to note that and work forward with this for the sake of this community and the sake of our shire. All I'm going to say. Okay. Councillor Lay, I take that we're going to put the motion. We have a notice motion in front of us, councillors. It's been moved by Councillor Murray, seconded by Councillor Petrie. All in favour? Against? Motion's lost.
Can I have a division?
Right, you have a second for the division, councillor? Councillor Forbes? Okay. For the motion, please put your hands up so I can call for the motion. It's Councillor Forbes, Councillor Petrie, Councillor Murray. Oh, okay, we'll put your hand up. Okay, I think Mr. General Manager. Okay, well, that's good. Okay, and those against will stand. Against the motion, Councillor Berry, Councillor Peters, Councillor Lay, Councillor Hull, Councillor Shippen. Thank you. Okay, if no further business, with this, I'll close the meeting. Thank you all very much for your attendance.